Hello, everybody. Welcome to another scene for Living World of Darkness, Changeling the Dreaming 20th anniversary venue that takes place in New York City. In this scene, we have Sebastian has called Charles to meet with him at his freehold. And so, yeah, pick up there.
All right. Charles is approaching. He's not overly dressed. It's in his usual Foley stuff, which is think sort of like crimson red, near sort of like Victorian era style sort of suit and everything like that, with the golden sort of like ruffled tie. It's kind of idea going on with him. But he's going along and he's got his ivy hair sort of just like small, just slightly past the small of his back, sort of just waving behind him as he walks along. Is, if one could say, he almost has like a spring in his step, because he has just been feeling so good after his friend's admittance to him of the fact that she had planted some seeds of happiness in his head. That has only just blossomed since recent events. Everything just seems to be going right, and very little is going to get him down. Though, of course, he's very intrigued that Sebastian has called him in. But he takes a brief moment before he walks in to admire the new statue standing out front of the freehold, as Carol's body parts are sort of spiraling around, that frozen in air, in shattered crystalline form around that heart. And he just smiles. Those stained glass window eyes sort of twisted, reflecting them and within them, before he just continues on.
Yeah, so he's regarded when he comes in, and all that. People who know him will wave.
Yep, he does his like polite sort of like bows and stuff like that to those that pass by and everything.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, Sebastian is waiting for him.
And as he gets up to him, he gets the appropriate, respectful distance away, because he's still the Baron, and he's not entirely sure whether this is a personal call or something of a more official manner. So better to err on the side of officiality. Besides, he is the Baron anyway. So Charles gets like the appropriate distance away, and casts his eyes down and kneels. My lord.
He'll nod to him and say, "Hello, Charles." He doesn't seem very enthusiastic's not the right word. He seems like he's troubled.
Well, Charles doesn't like lift his eyes or anything. He hasn't been told to like rise or anything yet or anything like that. He's maintaining his usual his position here. It's like, I have come per your request. My service is yours.
He'll smile a little bit at that, and he'll say, "You can get it."
Charles just sort of like head slightly twitches a bit because it's it's a little too casual. So he's not entirely sure how casual this is supposed to be, but he rises up per the request.
He's just like, whatever, I don't care right now. He's had too much on his mind, and it still shows that he's young.
Yeah. Well, if he is like looking troubled, do you mind me doing a perception psychology roll to try and get a good idea of his mental state and possibly some insight into what's troubling him there? So, with psychoanalysis specialty rolling in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Well then, I'm trying. What the heck? Why are you doing that, Facebook? Why? Let's see. So his mental state is there's definitely something that's bothering him on trying to think of what kind of level. It's more than just. It's more than just, something passing. It's affecting him deeper than, like something. It's not something trivial. It's something major that happened.
This is affecting the core of his personality in some way.
Yeah, absolutely. He was very, very shaken by something.
Okay.
Which is probably why he's acting a little bit more casual than he would otherwise. Because he's
Charles
just
is good. Yeah.
He's just all focused.
Gotcha. My lord, if I may be so bold.
Sure.
Perhaps whatever it is you'd like to discuss, perhaps we can do that through the gardens. I find that when one's mind is elsewhere, sometimes walking gets the blood flowing and the thoughts seem to fall into place.
He'll nod at that. He'll say, "Sure, that."
So I'm assuming there's probably like one of those nice little maze gardens or something, so that they can sort of walk through as they have their discussion.
He'll follow him out to the gardens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So basically, well, Charles isn't trying to lead him so much because he's trying to be respectful here, but at the same time he realizes the boy is not fully there, so he's doing his best to make sure that he's guiding him without guiding him, if that makes sense. At least the idea to show that's like, no, I'm being respectful, I'm going where he goes, but this is probably the direction we should probably be walking at the very least. Something weighs heavy on your mind, my lord.
He'll nod. He'll say, the leader of Rancher Cell was interrogated last night at the Vixen by some very bold commoners.
Yes.
He doesn't say that with any measure of disdain. He's actually like, they had some balls. I'll give it to them.
Yeah. Well, as I have met several of the commoners during my, it'll be nearly a year here very soon, having gone here. I've found them to be quite resourceful and very willful.
Absolutely. During the interrogation, it was revealed that he met with Dessa, and Dessa gave them information about my wedding. Seating arrangements.
And are we believed to believe that this Ranter Cell is in connection with the bombing not too long ago?
Oh, absolutely. Colin admitted that he was the one who planted the bomb. And the seating chart had marks on it of targets, which was every she that would be in attendance, and every ennobled commoner that would be in attendance.
I see. Well, this is a most egregious betrayal.
Indeed.
Has anyone been sent out to collect Dessa?
Not yet. I'm giving it a couple of days. Alice doesn't fully know the details yet. she's likely going to be devastated. She really trusted Dessa.
I've found that trust is a very, unless bound by oaths and promises that make us what we are, I find them to be very fragile things.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Dessa wanted to talk to me about becoming a court namer. That's not going to happen.
I'd be surprised if you did, given the news.
He'll shake his head. No. I was considering it before that. Absolutely.
Well, I believe it is in the trust of your hands that you will make sure that what just punishment is needed will be done.
He'll nod.
But is that the only thing that troubles you so deeply, this betrayal?
That's pretty much the... I actually called you here to talk to you about becoming one of my knights.
Not that I'm not honored or flattered, my lord. But I'm curious as to why you would wish to elevate me of everyone else in potential. Why not your own? Why not your own squire?
I don't feel that she's quite ready for this amount of responsibility, and she's content where she's at for right now.
I see. But that still doesn't answer my question, if forgive me, on why me out of anyone else.
He'll smile. He'll say, you, while a bit unorthodox, have proven that you have what it takes to be a knight, in my eyes. And I believe that you be on the same page with things that I'm trying to do with my band. Trying to alleviate the tensions between the nobles and commoners.
Yes.
So I need people in my service on my side that share the same ideas.
I cannot promise that we'll have the exact same vision, my lord, but...
I'll say no, of course not. I don't expect everybody to think the exact same way. Trin doesn't think the exact same way, but our goals align.
So has Trin been given the wondrous opportunity as well?
She has, yesterday. I was planning to announce you both at the same time.
Well, and Charles sort of takes a look off there for a moment. He's sort of like gazing wistfully at the in the distance, like he's almost trying to pierce between the hedge maze, past the glamour field into like the city itself. I've only been here for little under a year. And at the same time, it feels like ages. And I've seen a great many deals of changes and barbarism and such strife. I was beginning to wonder whether or not my dream had even a place in this world anymore. But it's so nice to hear that there are others that see a very similar thing, that perhaps there can be something of an understanding between people. No matter their status or demographics, there's something that binds us all together.
He'll nod. I know that the endeavors that I'm taking up are not going to be well received by everybody. I'm not that delusional. I might be young, but I'm not delusional.
You don't strike me as delusional, Sebastian.
However, I do have permission from the Count to open up a freehold combination with a library for the commoners to have access to.
Charles actually sort of peeks up at that. Now that, I think, is a very good start.
I do as well. I spoke with William and Misha about it yesterday.
And what was their opinion?
That they they are cautiously optimistic. They had met a she that seemed to care about the commoners the way that I do. Of course, they're not going to completely trust me. I don't expect them to.
I don't think they'll ever fully trust. In fact, I don't think full trust is within our natures. As humanistic as human as they may be, they are still at least a little bit of fairy.
They're going to be meeting with Trin tomorrow to discuss the matter of her brother. They want to help her find out what happened to him.
It is wonderful, I think. Well, still a little disconcerting at the same time. I know this is a weird paradox, my lord, but it's wonderful to see the commoners wishing to get involved and help and maintain a society and build bridges between us. But at the same time, it has been troubling to me that we haven't been meeting them completely halfway, so to speak. It's very good that this freehold in the library is a good first step towards that.
You know, I also said that I would not stop them should they learn how to build their own freehold, so that, completely free from the she influence.
Very generous.
We have to remember and learn that the commoners are just as valid as we are.
Of course.
And they deserve to have the things that we do. Just because we are the enforced rulers by the dreaming doesn't mean that we deserve any more than they do.
Fairly true. I always believed that. I always found that very notion that obviously that because we had been chosen by the dreaming, that we were in the full position to be absolute and have everything. Well, they had nothing. Well, did the dreaming not create them as well?
Exactly. They are still dreams, just like we are. People, a lot of she, in my opinion, forget that a ruler, a leader, does not oppress its most valuable assets.
I have noticed within my time being here that I feel that many who have found themselves here are content to sit on their laurels of divine right. It's not. It's not enough to just simply be chosen. One must prove themselves. And I have seen very little to this past little under a year that has proven that. However, I think you might be one of the few exceptions I've seen since I've gotten here.
I've heard that before. I'm trying very hard to change the minds of a lot of the Sidhe that are here. It's definitely not easy. A lot of them laugh at me and say that I have silly ideas and that I won't last as very long as a baron with the way that I think.
I once had many ideas, and they thought I wouldn't last as long as I did. In fact, I'm sure they were certain that the moment I got here, I'd be crushed out. But here I am still. So, and there's one thing I will say. No matter what they say, I won't let them snuff out the dream that I embody. And you shouldn't either.
He'll smile. I'm not.
I think that this will be a very good start in a right direction.
He'll nod.
So, not to stand on ceremony or to make the less of insight, not to sound impatient, because I am not. I am very patient. But at the same time, I feel that if we're going to go forward in this arrangement, certain bridges of trust must be made.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Well, I don't know if you wish to make it a little more official or public, or a private thing, and a later announcement will be all well and good, but I am at your will.
I wanted private, and I will make an announcement. So if you are willing, then we should take our oaths.
Charles sort of puts his hand over his heart and he kneels down. And he looks up, Sebastian, right in his eyes, those stained glass windows for eyes staring up right at Sebastian. In the name of the dreaming. Oh, sorry. I swear my loyalty to you, oh, Lord Sebastian Ap Beaumont. As the moon rises, that rules the tide, as the rain refreshes the grass, as the sun imparts life to all, so your will becomes my desire. As you command, I will obey. As you request, I will comply. May my service always please you, and may my eyes lose their sight if I invoke your wrath. And there's a little bit of like a smaller, like ironic smile when he mentions that. My heart, my mind, and my hands, and he says as he extends out his hands to be taken, are yours from now until you release me from this oath.
He takes his hands, and he'll keep hold of his hands Well, he says, in the name of the dreaming, I take you, Charles, as my vassal. No, he'll
Please,
say
my
Charles.
lord.
Charles
Please, my
Aftarion.
Please, my lord. If you're going to say my name in this oath, use my real one.
What is your real name?
Cararis.
Cararis. Okay. In the name of the dreaming, I take you, Cararis Aftarion, as my vassal. As the stones, the trees, and the grass belong to the earth, so do you belong to me as one of my house and hearth. I promise to hold you, to guard you, and to keep you. I pledge to honor your service as it deserves, to reward loyalty in kind, and to assure you of shelter in times of need and plenty. As the moon to the seas below, so is my will to yours. With these words, I pledge these sheep to you.
And with that, I'm sure at that point Charles rises up and bows.
Yes.
As the dreaming pulls in the words of their oaths, binding to them together.
I did that like not too long ago when I was riding around with my with my Nightborn. I was like, oh, this actually
Sebastian
great. Okay.
has shown that he's not the most orthodox Baron.
Mm-hmm.
So what he does after Charles bows, he's going to give him a hug.
Charles seems a little surprised at the hug at first, but he goes up, and it's not a tight hug; it's very gentle, sort of
So
thing.
is his, but he's like, I look forward to what we will accomplish together.
And Charles is sort of like gazing off into the distance behind him as he's holding this young boy, this Baron, in his hands. This person who's now a new person he's pledged his service to. And as he's looking out over the freehold, he's seeing in his own mind's eye his own vision of his own bright, beautiful dream.
Also Black Masquerade.
Yes, my lord. I am very much looking forward to that too.
I think that is a wonderful place to end this scene. So, thank you, player, for playing, and thank you, watchers, for watching. We'll see you next time.